it was Tokon. The beta was happening, and I was like, or
Mhm.
alpha, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Good chance to check it out. Now that people
I
are
have a
allowed to
story to
play.
lead into Tokon at the end of this.
Yep. Um, I don't like the official PlayStation sign up for the beta system thing. It just feels.
I really don't
It
like it.
feels like you did nothing. It feels like you didn't register at all. You don't even know whether
And they're
it's
like, make sure to
confirmation.
register, and you click on the link and it goes, here's how to register, and there's nothing on the page because you've already registered.
Super weird.
But it doesn't tell you that you registered.
Yeah.
But being on the page makes it so that it's really awful. I don't like it.
Did not like that. So anyway, everyone got in this time, and there you go. That's great. So the plan was like, hey, let me jump on and see what this is like over Get Into Fighting Games. Shout outs to one Kyle Bad at Games, the local Air Dashers stream runner and TO, who was like, hey, well, why don't you pop over to my place, and actually I'm going to have a setup so that people can play locally together. So we'll have 2 PS5s, and then we'll just go meet up in a random server, and then we'll just be able to play the equivalent of a Versus offline match, but using the beta, So that's happened before as well. And then he was like, okay, cool. That's perfect timing, because something I was thinking about during the break when I was off, and I spoke to Reggie and Min about it, was like, I want to do a special Get Into Fighting Games type of show. I have for fun, for glory, for fuck's sake, for girls. We did, all these different variants. And so I wanted to have one that was like, for locals, and
Right.
it was, just get into locals, not locals XYZ near you, hot and single, but for your local fighting game event. And this was a great excuse to try that out, because something that's a lot of fun is having the handheld camera out on the floor, talking to people at setups, getting a feel for the area, what's going on, the vibe on the floor, and so some people do that sometimes, but it's a little more like, okay, we're just gonna have a handheld camera and talking to the chat that way, but I want to be able to switch back to dedicated gameplay, so we kind of had this elaborate setup of like, okay, we have one camera on the floor to go check out and talk to people, and then another to switch back to the stream setup, and that was all that worked perfectly. So we did it, and at the same time, I got an email, and it was like, hey, yo, so the Avatar Legends beta alpha is also happening this exact weekend.
What a crazy coincidence.
That's nuts. That seems unfortunate timing. Why would that be the case? I mean, this was a small canceled game that came back out of nowhere, and then this other game was the massive, huge FGC fucking hit that's about to drop. So why would you want to compete on the same weekend? That's wild. Anyway, let's grab that. So I put it on my Steam Deck and went over. And this weekend has been fucking illuminating in so many ways. So for one thing, aside from the games, just the reason why I segue this way is because as I showed up there, I saw some people from Air Dashers and a couple of people from like the old MTLSF guys. And then like some friends, some people I recognize are rolling, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And then like Min walks in. I was like, hey, Min, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh yeah, what's up? And I'm like, stuff. I'm like, okay, talking to Reggie and Jimmy and stuff. And then like all these other dudes I kind of know that are like the guys that just play Third Strike and like Alpha 2 that would never be caught dead playing a new fighting game at all walk in, like Chirithi's there, and UNS and some of these people. I'm like, what the fuck is actually, god damn it, Reggie, did you secretly? And he's like, so yeah, he secretly made it a thing. And then it was a little fun thing, and they brought out a little.
What are all these old guys doing here?
They don't want to play these new fighting games. That's crazy, So yeah, secret little birthday thing. So that was nice. I appreciated that. And then we got to jump into Tokon. So before I go into gameplay, what was your lead into that?
So I had a very different lead into that. So I was going through my emails, and I was like, I have a weirdly enormous amount of play tests sitting in my email. Like, it just so happened that I have 2 random games. I have somebody reached out to me with a playtest code for the Quantic Dream MOBA.
Oh shit.
and I got the Tokon beta, and they were all like staggered like on top of each other.
Okay.
So it's like, fuck it. Okay, let's just roll through all these. We'll do a big day of streams, and we'll just fucking check out all these unreleased video games, right?
Wow. Okay. Sidebar, the UNCtion is amazing, and I am immediately grabbing that. That's a great name for an event. Go on.
So I'm like, all right, let's just check them out. And in order, I played a game. These are all not finished, so take it as you will. I played a game called Wanderberg, which was you might have seen a trailer for it. It's you play a little castle that rolls around on wheels, and it's fucking Vampire Survivors. It's slow Vampire Survivors.
But you are an entire castle.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't got it.
Okay.
It doesn't got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I loaded up Vault Breakers, which even after reading through the whole press email, couldn't figure out what it was. And then I loaded it in, and then what it is, hey, what if you took the moment-to-moment gameplay of a MOBA and made it an extraction game where you're playing a MOBA by yourself on a Warcraft 3 map, but you have to extract out to keep any of your gear. And I was like, this controls really bad. And then I died, and then the game crashed.
Wow.
So that's Vault Breakers.
And you don't even get to like shit on 12-year-olds and ruin their night.
No. Well, it is PvPvE, but it loaded me into an empty game.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was because it was a unpopular playtest or because it was broken, but okay. Then I was like, all right. I was planning to do like a 6-7 hour stream, and I've blown through half of the games in 40 minutes. Cool. Well, at least we can play a half-hour match of Spellcaster Chronicles, which I should mention again is a terrible name. Terrible name. Spellcaster Chronicles is the MOBA by Quantic Dream. I even said it before and you couldn't remember.
That's the Quantic Dream MOBA. Okay.
Yeah, I just said.
Oh,
like fucking
boy.
It just deleted.
Oh,
it's bad. It is a bad name.
Oh, your target market testing team failed you guys.
So I'm like, I loaded up, and it's got like decent art and some interesting menus, and you're doing that. And I was a little put off because the characters' names are like Ice Skeleton and Swamp Witch, and like they don't have names.
Oh, they're just classes.
Yeah, and I'm like, this seems really strange for like a hero look.
Huh.
So then
Maybe
I'm like, all right, sure. And then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna load up and I'm gonna hit quick play, and then I quick played into the timer for 9 minutes and 55 seconds, and then the game told me there was a technical error, which was not true. It was actually the timeout for matchmaking, because the game had the playtest had like a worldwide audience of like 500 people.
Oh, the hallmark, the fucking the absolute, the classic quick play, quick any minute now. Oh no.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna give up on this.
Was there a tutorial that you were able to see?
Nope.
No gameplay.
There's a video.
No game.
There's a video.
Oh my god.
And so I'm sitting there going, wow. As far as stream or like video gimmicks have gone, this is definitely one of the most disastrous runs I've ever had. I'm like an hour and 20 minutes in, and I have like done shit all and blown through most of what I had planned for the day.
Nothing's happening.
So I'm like, well, thank God I saved the best for last. Let's load up that Marvel Tokon beta. Arc System Works. Save my stream today. And this was 15 minutes before I texted you and went, wow, Tokon feels really bad. It feels really bad.
Hey, we're supposed to go on a journey to get to these conclusions, okay? even though
it feels really bad.
Even though I believe my reply was in all caps, boy does it.
That is that you have all caps. There it is. I'm looking right at it. Because I was, you know what I was hoping for? Because when you say shit like, yo, this game feels like ass, someone in the comment, someone in the thread, somebody in the chat, somebody is always there like, nah, man, you just gotta give it more time. You're missing the sauce. So I'm like, well, I know Woolie's been playing it for a couple hours by now. I'll text Woolie and he's gonna tell me, nah, man, you actually got to give it a minute. Oh, there's actually some secret stuff. Oh, there's some cool stuff. And instead I got back, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if we're starting at the ending, then at the very least, yeah.
I'm just gonna Normally I wouldn't jump right to the end, except for Tokon, that was the beginning. As soon as that tutorial started and I started to do jumps and dashes, I was like, something is wrong here. So something is off.
So we had I've gone over this quite a bit, many times now at this point, just talking to the guys in the room, and then again with Reggie yesterday, we're just trying to figure out what are we looking at here. But and it also is this extra weird thing because of the weird fucking way that like we watched the trailer late and everything. There was this initial like, yo, Marvel man, you have something to say about the Marvel game, And I'm like, yeah, no, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous.
But what's happening here, right? And like, I really didn't expect that ArcSys going to make their own Marvel game, but trying to make it not Marvel versus Capcom, but still their own version of it, that they would hit all of these weird walls because these are things that they themselves have solved in the past, right? So for starters, you're kind of playing it, and the first thing you realize is when you are running at your running speed, you are moving at walk speed in Street Fighter 6.
It's very slow.
Right? You're seeing Captain America sprint moving at the speed that you're just holding forward with like Luke or something. So that means when you're walking with the characters, you're like fucking Makoto. Like it's so, it's this really, really slow feel that's like, but the game is full of all this shit. It looks like a hyper game, right? It's so
everything's flashy, everything's big, everything's slow.
So you feel really, really like right away that's odd. And then you also are like, touching buttons, getting a little feel for it. And like the thing I think that's the coolest about the game, besides the amazing art style, and the like, I do appreciate the whole like, this is an unapologetically Japanese version of these Marvel characters, their fucking Storm is yelling Tatsumaki when she does a tornado, so all that is great. And I like that the idea of the game is instead of starting with all of your team together and then whittling down to the last survivor,
you assemble.
Avengers assemble. What a cool idea for the whole
What a cool idea.
Now, what ends up happening when you have 4 characters is you don't want to intimidate players by having them learn people that are way too different and that feel too different, so you kind of end up homogenizing a bit and making it not matter as much when they're on your team. But to have this whole assembly thing work, you have to have these situations where the way they join your team is by wall breaking, for example, doing certain types of interactions. And these wall breaks are, like Guilty Gear style, like Strive style. And I feel like in Strive, I didn't mind the idea of going like, okay, let's make a hypothetical different version of the corner in a fighting game where you're going to get pressured and eventually you're going to lose the exchange, but you're going to give your opponent a big reward as you do this big stage transition, right?
It's a really interesting thing because it's like, okay, maybe being in the corner for a whole match is like a nightmare, and like Guilty Gear characters if you're stuck in there forever, the nightmare can be never ending. So let's make it so if they win too hard, they actually break you out of the corner
and
themselves.
Get a big reward for it. Yeah, I think, and I think it was like I much preferred. I thought it looked a lot cooler and flowed better than like the way like Injustice had these insane fucking pig transition factory thing. It was wild. This that they did in a way, yeah, they did in a way that I thought was like, okay, interesting. I love how Street Fighter 6 came and said, no, fuck that, die in the corner.
Die.
You will live, breathe, and die in this corner.
UNCtion also has that. Yeah. Like if you're not getting out of the corner, just die there. That's it.
I do respect the response, on behalf of other companies. However, this game,
what if I can't get out of the corner?
Bitch.
Then period.
Shouldn't have tried. But I feel like the problem with Tokon was that you have to do these constantly, and you need to see 6 of them per match to get the whole team together. So what you end up having is a slow game, but then every time you do one of these combos into a transition, it breaks the flow up even more. So you're like constantly getting interrupted. On average,
seeing people knocked out of the corner like 5 times a match. That's a lot.
It's interesting because one of the maps, the Xavier Mansion, is they don't have stage transitions on it. They make it so that you just splat and then the new person joins, and it's almost like they're testing to see, do people prefer the version where we don't have a constant break? Because I think it's a cool comic book cut-in that shows you something that's very Marvel oriented, but it does get exhausting in the alpha. How many interruptions are happening in the match?
Luckily, aside from all that, it's a tag game. And I was doing a little combo, and I tagged in, I hit Storm's assist, and I said to myself, wow, it's really good that tagging in a new character in this game feels good.
Okay. So the problem...
What a core concept to nail. Oh, I'm so glad they nailed it.
The problem with what you said is everything, Pat.
That was a lie. I made up a lie.
Okay,
actually.
Let's take a character I like Ilaoi, and a character you like Blitz, right?
Sure.
And there's a thing you can do where Ilaoi can drop the tentacles and make her tentacle super come out, and then they hit you every couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And then after doing that, you can call in Blitz, Crank, to grab you from the air back into the tentacles and extend the combo longer. Live there, right?
Yeah, you're gonna deal with it.
It's really cool. Tokon, and that means when you pick your character and the assist they do and stuff, like you have a lot of variety because your team is all based on
synergy. What I do with Teemo and Blitz is I throw out a bunch of mushrooms, and I use Blitz's assist to pull them into the mushrooms to get my badges. There's a lot of interactions.
In the design attempt to simplify the game as much as possible, they made it so that you don't pick assists for the character. Where they are on your slot is what they do. So the first person who's going to be, I guess, to the left of your portrait. Well, that gets weird too because the order they're in is like a diamond, but when you're on player 2 side, you press you call the wrong direction button for the person you want to jump out because it's inverted. Shit gets weird, right? But
the assist facing the opponent
is the forward one. And
it's like a horizontal strike.
They come in and do a thing, and then the assist that's below you comes in and does an uppercut, and the one behind you does like hidden missiles or something tactical. Here's a grenade, right? So no matter where you place your team, that's the thing they're always going to do is those functions,
basic,
right?
Horizontal, vertical, and then
and then if you tag anyone into the bottom slot, they're going to always do their version of a shoryuken, like an uppercut, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you do a combo, and then you're like, I want to do a bunch of pressure, hit you with some buttons, and while you're blocking, I'll call in Dr. Doom, and he will do his Hammer of Dawn laser, and while that laser is like getting cooked and starting up, I'm going to jump to the other side and do a little teleport and mix you up and do some stuff. You call in Dr. Doom in the middle of a combo, and he jumps in, and he doesn't do that laser you wanted him to do. He just hits you. Because the assists change what they do in the middle of a combo. In the middle of a combo, every assist jumps in and doesn't do their move. They just does a generic hit. Because they want the assist to not matter. And so every combo is going to look the same no matter who's there at any point.
Do you want to hear something really fun and stupid? I thought you were going to make a completely different complaint about the assists.
What was that?
So I'm like, So the assists, the characters are on a diamond, right? And the character on point is always the top of the diamond, right? And what assists they do is dependent on where they are on the diamond. So what I discovered is that if I'm Captain America at the top and I tag to Kamala at the bottom, and then I tag to Star-Lord on the left, and then I tag back to Captain America at the top, I will have actually rotated the fucking characters off their original places, which means they won't do the assists that I want them to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But worse than that,
yes.
and I mean way worse than that, is when I discovered, oh, it's actually fine because all of their assists are the same.
They're the same.
Everyone's vertical assist is a Captain Commando projectile or a Zoryu, but they all function identically.
If you want, like, the back assist is going to be like the laser or the grenade or the tactical one. But regardless, where you put them into the slot, and so the goal was to simplify this process to make it so that they don't matter, but you've actually made it more complex because now they're going into these different positions.
And you're like, oh, are they different? And the trick is no, they're not different.
So
that's actually really weird and complicated.
So if I press light, medium, heavy, assist, doesn't matter which assist, doesn't matter what's going on, someone somewhere will jump in, punch you, and jump out. And like,
you stupid pussy. Why would you ever hit light, medium, heavy? Just mash out lights or mediums, bitch.
And now we get to a big weird thing here, which is the auto combo problem. That is, everything this game seems to be encouraging is to just rely on the auto combo system. And a lot of games will be like, hey, that's a part of it. It's an option, but you don't have to do them. You can do other stuff, right? And in fact, I'll say, like, you know, to get 2xKO, you use pulse combos, you see what they do. You can turn.
Yeah, you get some basic B&Bs.
Turn them on or off, whatever the case is. But the moment you start doing stuff on your own, you'll have like a moment of being like, oh, I can go from here to here to here to here. And I'm like, ooh, you get some ideas.
Even the most basic bread and butter in 2xKO with like a single extra piece of kit on it is like 100 times more effective than the pulse combo.
And so I go pick anyone on the roster and you go light, medium, heavy, and then let's say down heavy to just launch them up. And for half or more of the cast, it just whiffs completely, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, they don't want you to be able to do that much. Okay. So then you go, let's shorten that to just like, let's say light, medium, then crouching heavy. Cool. And then everyone can jump and like you get a little hop and you can do a little bit of a air 1-2, air 1-2. And it's like, it's very much like, it's not giving you a big reward for doing manual combos. It's giving you a very stilted feeling, small range of options. And what sucks here is this is a great thing where I'd be like, well, let me go to the training mode and actually experiment with the system and see what's possible. But the game's like, go fuck yourself, right? It's a completely separate issue here. This is where like a network programmer is basically like, we want as much network data as possible. And every time people play an offline match, that denies me my data. So
absolutely
force people to play online. And that way we'll have all the info we need for working. And it's like, okay, I get that reasoning, but what happens is you create a really bad first impression for people who don't get a chance to figure out what the fuck is happening and how
do my moves work.
And so what they end up doing is they either go to the training mode, not training mode, they go to the tutorial and have to skip forward to that one part where you can use Cap, Storm, Kamala, and
that's what I did,
and Star-Lord, and then you can now beat up on the Tony
Iron Man,
for a minute, but not when he's blocking, only in the part of the thing where you can do whatever you want. And you make your own weird training mode, or you go fight the CPU, but then that's annoying because you can't really still test your shit out anyway. So, you know?
Before we get too far away from it, so I also tried to be like, well, what about light, medium, heavy, or heavy hop, or whatever. This is the only fighting game I can think of that I can say this other than like Mortal Kombat. It feels like the gravity and the movement speed of the characters is actively fighting me to do anything other than the auto combo.
It's crazy.
Like like the auto combo, like mashing square would get me like what looked like a normal combo, and is also the only way to do like the assist, like team up moves at all. There's no manual function to it at all. But on top of that, when I tried to break out of it with like a launcher at any given time and do like a non-slam down it would just stop. It would actually just break. Like I remember like Cap's medium kick doesn't even correctly hit air opponents unless he's right next to them from the launcher.
So you're getting the worst of both worlds, because one, when you start doing the auto combo, I feel like what happens is, and I need to confirm this, but it felt like what happens is you get locked, the characters get locked into the combo in a way where like if you try to do,
they get magnetized.
Yeah, if you try to do it manually, they'll drop out sometimes, but they get magnetized in exactly to position, so you're encouraged to just use that system. And if you want to then break, again, like you said, break out of the auto combo and do something manual towards the end of it, you can't. You can only switch from auto combo light to auto combo medium or auto combo heavy, whereas like again a more freeing system like the Pulse one would let you just be like, and now do what you want. You can start the first couple hits manually and then do what you want, but here they really lock you in. It sucks because everybody else that can't use training mode is just relying on this system. The system itself is encouraging you to just use them to do these wall breaks to get the team faster. So now all these matches end up feeling slow, the same. Everyone's doing the same basic setups here, and it's discouraging you from using the system to truly do manual things and explore it and so on. And it just kind of ends up being like, God damn it, man! Like this is so weird, because even towards the end, I saw like last day, some people put out some footage of like, here's a cool Doctor Doom combo where he's like juggling you between his shield, or like Spider-Man tech where he's doing some fast stuff that looks different from some of the other of the cast members, you know? But like none of those options are going to change sort of these weird fundamental changes, these fundamental like tag assist problems you have. And this is the version of the game that like, when they first brought it to Evo and everyone was playing it, people were like, I don't really get what's going on here. And then the devs came into Max's stream and ran some sets, and they're like, oh, that's how you make it look a little better. Okay. But they still came back and changed it to add more freedom to tagging, but it was not enough. So the characters jump in now, and before you had to wait for them to do their thing, and then there's that little timer when you can switch to them. And now it's like, no, you can do it beforehand, but you still want to be able to do it sometimes in the middle. You want to be able to do it anytime.
The weirdest thing is that the game is like, you know how you should tag? You should tag by holding the button down in the middle of your combo.
Yeah, like you have there's a fast tag button on L2, right? But like for the most part, you have this thing of like, choose when you want to hold it to take over. And sometimes if you want to take over, again, in the middle of the move, that it's like, nope, you're not allowed there. And then when you do decide to take over, which admittedly, when there's 8 people on screen, I can understand the cluttering to make it clearer to view. But you have this whole like, follow the ghost. Where's it going to go? Is it left or right? It's on your left.
It's
okay.
Weird.
And in the meantime, what have you been getting used to?
I've been getting used to like instantaneous handshake tags.
There's a fun moment that happens in handshake tag, which is, it happened in other, so it's a moment that happens, Street Fighter V had it every time you activated V trigger. The game pauses.
I get like 10 milliseconds to be like,
what's going on?
Can I hit a button? Should I jump?
There's a moment in fighting games where the game will pause for a second and both players go, what's going on? And it's really fun to like have that little like, oh shit, adapt moment, right? Shit, block left, something else. And it's just a little pause. And 2XKO adds the little handshake clap noise and the green flash to actually like Pavlovian response trigger. Like they want you to hear clap and go, oh fuck. And everyone, all 4 people on a station will be like, where's he going? Okay, there he is, right? And in this case, it's like tag and ghost trick. Oh, Iron Man. You're like, guys.
It feels really bad. It feels like Kusoge, like licensed Kusoge. It feels really bad.
So the strange thing, again, ArcSys has solved this problem themselves already twice. Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax and Dragon Ball Fighters both do something fantastic with the auto combo, which is they let you do full, manual everything, have fun, enjoy your characters, explore, but there's an auto combo that each character has that's unique and useful.
Has some weird property to it.
It has special moves that only are a part of the auto combo that you can't do otherwise. So even at the highest levels of play, you always want it. There's never anybody going, nah, fuck that, I don't want that auto combo. It's like, no, 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 there's a part of this move that's useful for everyone. So make it that it's actually just adding to all the moves the character can do, and it's a benefit for everybody, instead of this weird version you have here. It's a step backwards, you know? Such a strange thing, because you will see people regularly using their auto combos in Dragon Ball as a part of their longer sequence to do stuff. Like with Android 16, I want a side switch, bam, I get the third hit, slam you behind me, you know? Or I get a Vegeta, like he adds height to his like uppercut, you know, and he gets closer to you. So I don't know why they approached it in this way, and I feel like a big part of it was we want to be different from Marvel versus Capcom, but in the race to do that, you just made it not fun. And like, people have been saying sauceless. People have been using the word sauce a whole lot this weekend, you know, and I mean, it's people have different feelings on what is and is not sauce. But what I can say is,
I can tell you what sauce is.
What sauce?
It's good.
Sauce is good. Sauce is good.
It's good.
Good what I can say is the mission to homogenize the cast was successful. Mission accomplished. You made things feel the same.
So hey,
and here we are.
As much as I've been dogging on to XKO for its roster, and I will continue to do so until everyone I want is in that game. If the raw, like, okay, when Dragon Ball Z Fighters came, or sorry, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, fuck, I hate that game's title, came out, and like everybody was like a lot of characters were a variation of Goku, because that's how fucking Dragon Ball works. You're like, well, it should have a big roster, and it did have a big roster, and then it had a really big DLC roster, right? That game's roster is enormous. And like people are like homogenized to a degree because it's energy blasts and kung fu things, but everybody's got their gimmick and everybody's unique, right? Dude, I feel like I don't care what special button you put on fucking this. This shit better have a roster of like 100 fucking fighters if it's gonna feel like this.
Pick your dankest Marvel character that you want to see showing up here, and I'm telling you, they're gonna have Squirrel Girl uppercut is gonna be your little squirrel twirl. And then her back special is going to be tossing a nut with an arc that bounces according to the strength. Like, it's
there's like an order of magnitude more mechanical complexity between Marvel characters in Rivals, a game that has like 4 buttons, than this tag fighter.
So this is where the part 2 of this conversation goes, and I find it insane. But we were talking about 2XKO's like roster being too small and how that needs to get buffed up, because
it's too small.
Very fun game, but like you're fighting the same characters a lot. We want to feel more variety to it. Holy shit, does it feel ever so minuscule here, because something Dragon Ball did was they made each of their characters have less moves so that they would feel part of a team. And here you're feeling that excessively so, while being homogenized, right?
I'm playing as the Avengers. Who's in it? I don't care.
So then I pop in Avatar Legends, the fighting game.
A game that I remember it getting canceled.
It got canceled, and then it got resurrected. And here it is.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Things shouldn't exist. So, you know, seems to be pretty small budget, seems to be pretty tiny. Seems like it was made fairly quickly in a very...
Kind of looks like a Flash game.
But the sprites look like the show. And when they win and they get close-ups on them, they look even more like the show. And you know what? That's pretty sick, because, like, if the game was a really high-budget ArcSys 60 frames per second, amazing Aang doing all his shit, like, thing, it would look really cool, but it wouldn't look like the source material necessarily, you know? But this is, like, you're nailing it, right? You go look at the move list on it before you even see it in motion, and every one of those characters, there's 4 characters in that demo: Korra, Aang, Zuko, and Katara. Their individual move lists have more going on than the entire cast of Tokon. Each character individually.
Hey, look at that. I'm watching footage right now. Do you know what I see? I see a blue demon sword bar under Zuko, and I see Korra with all 4 elements underneath her health bar. I see meters.
Okay, so one, you start playing this game, and it's super fast, and it's just like, go nuts, have fun, press buttons. Something about me is I love me some movement. I love me some defensive options. I'm kind of obsessed. And the reason why I like a character like Steve Fox is because 2 of his buttons are dedicated to movement instead of attacking, right? This game adds a flow button that makes everyone able to move and like quickly get around the screen. And when you hold it in neutral, you get these dodges that are very dynamic. And then you can cancel out of those into flips and all these really cool moments of I'm punching you, you're dodging it, you're punching me, I'm dodging it, we're both flipping backwards, re-engaging. It feels like fucking awesome high-speed anime Sakuga, right, when you're playing it. There is stuff going on where everyone has, like, if you have Zuko, he's got, like, he doesn't just have, like, a fireball and then an uppercut or whatever. He has, like, 6 different types of fireballs that all do different things. He's got a ridiculous amount of, he's got, like, 6 different dive kicks, whatever, etc. And they're just like, what do you want to do with it? You want to go nuts? Okay, you can pick a buddy. You don't have assists in the game, but it plays like a 1v1 hyper Marvel game, the speed it moves at. It's the fastest game I've ever played. It's the fastest fighting game I've ever played. It's, they have things where you pick a one friend who stands in the background and they act as a variation or like a groove for your character, you know? So, Zuko, for example, can pick, I forgot her name, but June, who's in the back on her big mole, and it means that he can make his dive kicks that are usually pretty decent even better by doing them as low to the ground as possible, and on hit or on whiff he can cancel out of it into an air dash in any direction. You know,
my girlfriend gives me the confidence to do lower to the ground dive kicks.
So you get these options where you read that in the description and they go, oh my god, they want you unchained, do anything you want, right? But then, like, in terms of character design, so Zuko has again, you said you have that sword meter, right? And then the other things you have are your chi and your chakra. So chi is your basically your, call it your drive meter. It's your flow. You spend every time you move and do flow things or parry flow things, it's going to cost this movement meter. And then you have super meter that you build up. And when you drain that movement meter, your flow goes to 0, your chi goes to 0, you become unbalanced, and you're in burnout. So now you can't do all those fancy movements, you're gray, and you're waiting for it to come back, just like burnout in Street Fighter 6.
Hey, what's these fucking 7 Dragon Balls underneath the life bar filling up?
Yeah, so that's your super meter.
Okay.
Every time you land a special move, you fill up, you get 1 pip of chi. That does a super. So a level 1 super is going to cost 4 circles, or like a level 3 will cost all 7. But you can only do it on the second round.
Because I'm looking at footage and like Korra only has 5, but like Zuko has 7 balls.
Because and if you lose a round, you get up to 7. If the
oh wow,
everyone's
okay.
So everyone, you only get access to your ultimate final technique on your second round. You know, but here's the deal. Zuko exhausts himself, and when he does, 1 pip of that sword meter next to him goes up, because that is his redemption meter. He gains 1 level of redemption by burning himself out too hot, too fast, and exhausting himself by being too aggressive. Then you calm down, and one of your moves in your kit gets a little bit better. Right? He gets a launcher off of an air fireball that gets better, and you can do more shit with it. You exhaust yourself again. You get to redemption level 2. Then his breakdancing flame kicks get better, right? And then at level 3, you get a parry that gets way better, and you get a full like reward of chi. You become balanced. Zuko's system encourages you to burn hot and fast, and then calm down and redeem yourself. That's his redemption system, right? That's his character. Win quote at the end of the round, I've changed, or oof, that was rough.
I'm watching something. One of the other things that really stands out is that like I'm seeing like people getting like counter hits from projectiles in the air. Like Cora will like tag you with like a water fireball, like as you're jumping in, and she'll just throw out 5 more and combo you all the way to the other end of the fucking screen.
Okay, right. So what you're seeing, because again, what I just described is Zuko's specific honor system, and what they will have on the move list at the end of the move list, they have like all your different options, is essentially your character's plot arc stuff, where if you do this in the match, this matches what their plot arc is in the story, and this rewards you. So Korra, for example, hers are her main system is do the different elemental moves in the right order, right? Do them in the do them in the correct order, and you then your next avatar state move, like you improve the strength of it, whatever, right? So that's her main thing going on. And then when her life gets low, or when you do her super, she pops off and becomes the avatar state. There's stuff where they're like, okay, Korra, if you do her flow forward where she dashes at you and go right into an uppercut, balls out, you get a reward because she's brash, impulsive, and doesn't give a fuck, right? So you need to rush in and do an insane thing, and the game's like, good, you're playing as Korra, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
She gets rewarded for landing the first hit of the match, but only if you never block. You have to land the first hit without blocking, because
you have to get the real first hit. You have to go in.
Yes. If Korra blocks, that's not her. You're playing Korra. She's dumb, impulsive, and brash and going in. Get the first hit without trying to defend yourself, right? That there's the plot side of things going down on the each character. It's fucking incredible, right?
That's really cool.
And
wow.
And then
it's really cool how you're telling me about Korra, like the Avatar fighting game. And instead of telling me what's not in the game, you're telling me what is in the game. Oh, that's crazy. What a crazy concept.
I mean, so I just went to Katara and I was like, let's see what's going on with her. I think she's cool. And right away I saw she can do her water whips, and then she can go into like rekkas, you know, like high, low, medium. Or she can go backwards into, you know, Johnny, basically doing his slashes, you know, Mistfinder stuff. Exactly.
Mistfinder, yeah.
So she can do that with her water whips, right? So I'm like, oh, that's cool. But when you're in her water whip stance, holding the water, you can then slide on the ground, forward, backwards, up, down, doing flips while holding it, to then whip in the air, straight down, across, and it gives you buffed versions because you're combining movement with your stance holding, you know? And so she asks you to like press extra buttons, do a little bit more, right? And I had an idea. I was just like, can I try something here? What happens if I do like a light, medium, heavy, knockdown, and then because I canceled into her water whip stance, I recover faster. Can I then dash forward and jump over and whip them on the ground? Oh my God, I absolutely can. And it rewarded me for doing that and says, continue your combo now. So you can go like 1, 2, 3, whip, cancel, dash, up, pick them up, keep it going. And I was like, oh my God, that's a really technical thing that I just had the thought, can I? And it said yes, right? And then up till yesterday, I'm like, can I? Like I was doing a thing, I was like, there's a moment where you can do a big whip that knocks them really far away. And I'm like, you can't follow up with anything there. They're too far. But the one thing that I can do is dash out of it. And it's like, can I dash forward and then cancel that into a thing? And no, you're not close enough. They're too far away. And then I basically realized at some point, labbing, long story short, is if you press the movement buttons while you're doing other stuff, it'll buffer in to come at the end of the last thing you do.
Okay. So it's like, specifics aside, listening to you describe playing Avatar and going through that fun little process of, can I do this? Yes. Can I do this? Maybe. Yes. And is so wild in comparison to my experience playing Tokon, which was, can I do a air combo?
No. It's so nuts,
Maybe
man.
if I watch a video, I can do an air combo.
And it really feels like it's the exact opposite, where they're like, look, we don't have a lot of money. We've got what we've got. This game, again, it was like, this was fucking already canceled and we're pulling it back out of the dirt. What can we do with what's here? And it's like, you can make it feel good and make it so that
go crazy
and just go and let people do what they want. Just let people do what they want. Let them have fun with the characters and go in. And just 4 characters that feel like they have way more going on individually than anyone else on that entire roster.
I would like to have you hold that thought. We just got a great question in the live audience that works really well for you to answer. Isn't Tokon in beta right now? Why so harsh? And then I'm adding my own emphasis to a game that's not finished yet.
Well, it can change and they can take feedback. And boy, should they after this weekend.
The beta for feedback.
You know,
they literally ask us for the feedback.
However, I'm gonna say that like if ultimately if what you're looking for is pretty much just like, you know, the characters doing the cool stuff and everything's like, if you didn't necessarily feel any of the limitations I'm describing, that's okay. Like, that's valid and you can still enjoy yourself with it. I'm just saying that, like, when you make a game that is in the Marvel style, that's coming into this space where people are used to having freedom, movement, you want to touch buttons, express yourself, go nuts and have fun, and instead you get something where they're specifically looking to hold you back, I'd say now's the time where they need to be put on blast to hear about what they need to change.
Time to complain is now before the meal is finished.
Because if they hear that, they can go back to the drawing board and readdress a bunch of this shit, right? They changed it between Evo and now to add more options to tag to your characters. They need to take it back and change it even further. This is exactly it, you know? And I hope that, like, it doesn't need to just, like, readdress the way, like, all that tagging stuff works and everything. It needs to, like, go straight to Super Turbo. You know what I mean? Like, they need to find a way to skip World Warrior and get right to the final version of that game. Because it just, like, everyone is happy to see a new cool fighting game, but, like, the herd gets thinned out real quick when this throne of Marvel that's vacant, when the challengers are like Nen Impact, Invincible Versus, Tokon, and you're like, whoa, what happened? There were so many games a minute ago, and now it's like, yo, we got 2XKO here, that's really fun, and this Avatar game out of left field, just like, ow!
And Street Fighters over there,
yeah,
doing its thing.
Aang is over here doing fucking water wind tricks, and the foam guy is coming out going, wah! Which is a wind pose, by the way. He actually falls over in a wind pose.
One of the things that really stood out to me about, like, Tokon was starting it up, and they have the button to do special moves, and but they also have motions. And I'm like, the motion, like, it's totally fastidial. There's no fucking reason to fucking do the motions at all. I don't understand why they're even there, other than to, like, acquiesce to people going, I don't want it to be a one button special fighter. But the whole game is built to be a one button.
It is
fucking
it
everything.
Is. In fact, the fact that they let you do, like, if you want to do the heavy version of a quick input button, you press the heavy button at the same time as the quick input one, and I'm like, oh god, that's just a super input.
That's fucking awful.
2XKO. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to do that, you know? So, and here's the thing, a lot of what I was describing that's really fun and felt good in Avatar Legends, the fighting game, was stuff that I got because I went to the training mode they gave you. And then when I was there at the local meetup, we went to the local versus mode that it gave you, and we played against each other, and we got to feel what the game was like, and then we're, like, excited for it. It's such a backfiring, stupid way of looking at things to just go like, no, the network test information is the most important part.
I want my data.
And instead you lose sight of the fact that first impressions are lasting impressions, man. You know? So the weirdness of this weekend was just the complete left field upset that is this little flash game looking thing that plays like fucking crack, you know? And yeah, I mean, going and watching the way people were starting to figure out how Korra works or how to use Aang, like Reggie touched Aang for like a second, and like you jump with him, he does the air like glider, and then you cancel that into air glider again, and like you can fully control how you're approaching, and then you can now blow wind so that you can get there faster or slow yourself down, and you see all this insane variation in how you move and approach your opponent in this game that's not like anything else out there. And it's just like, was this put out to steal Tokon's lunch? Like, was this a tactical alpha, you know? Because usually you run away from the big guy making the thing, right? Like, oh, you know, we're announcing fucking Zelda when? We're announcing Call of Duty when? GTA when? Everyone run away. And here, the small game was like, no, I'm running into the storm, actually. It's so crazy for just a random coincidence. And also, they basically did a thing where, like, at the last second, they're like, oh, some Earthbenders got into the servers. We're going to keep them up for another 9 hours. Go have fun. Yeah, just, I mean, what I will say is, even casually, like, just go watch some footage of it and just see how, like, wild and fast and fun it looks.
Oh, it's night and day. It's night and day.
And like it does have, and here's what, there is an auto combo like system on the light button where it'll do light, medium, heavy, and then you get to pick the ender.
Oh, that's crazy.
That you want to do after that, you know?
Can you believe it?
Yeah, 3 stages, you know, lots different, and like they give you all these colors right off the bat where everyone is in like you can put anyone in a different tribe's color right away, you know. There's moves where Korra jumps off the ground that like earth bends up to her feet, and the earth that pops up is depending on the stage. It's, you know, in the ice area, it's ice that sticks up. In the earth area, it's normal ground. It's just little details where like, yeah, I'm glad you put that in there. That's cool, you know. And then, like, of course, from that, you get your ability to do her crack shoot or hold the button and turn it into like a bandit revolver, or press the dash button and she flame dashes up to you. And you just, it's so insane how fast and free flowing, you know, the game is. And the fact that you're looking at the descriptions and it's like, hey, Aang is about being passive, actually, so he rewards you for dodging with your flow state before you attack anybody, you know. And yeah, just whatever. It was great. It was super cool, and I watched as like the neurons were firing as everyone that touched it got to be like, oh shit, oh okay, hold on a minute, there's some stuff here. I don't think Tokon, it's like, it's not a wrap, because they've shown their willingness to go back and change things after, you know, people got their hands on it and feedback came through. But they have to drastically change what they're doing. I feel like the weird, what was it? WoolieVersus was like this kind of weird thing that, like flying bricks, and, you know, KI team, I like what they do, but it didn't look that appealing to me at all or so. But I'm looking at that like, I think that looks more fun than Tokon felt. You know? Anyway.
Everything fucking looks more the way Tokon felt. It's crazy. I can't get over it.
Anyway.
I'm just sitting here and just going like, fucking, like, give me Evil Zone, for fuck's sake.
It's not often you have a week
more honest.
Like, it's not often you have a beta come out that's like anti-marketing, you know? Like, yeah. Your eyeballs were way more interested in what was happening than your actual fingers were, you know?